Everyone always asks me, like, how do you stay motivated 24/7? And I'm only human, like, you can't be fully motivated 24/7, but I don't do this sport really for anyone else other than for my confidence and for me to feel okay. And I've never been entirely uncomfortable in the early days of how I look and feel. And I don't know why to this day I felt like that. Obviously growing up I had a good loving family, so there was no reason for me to feel like that. Now, there was no trauma that happened, it's just how I was built. These type of things in my head just flick the switch and I'm like, no. And I'm the guy who has to work harder than everybody else, be in the trenches and graft, and that's how I've always been. And it's always pushed me through.
Today's video is on a subject that is really, really close to me. Something that I've suffered with for my whole life pretty much is body dysmorphia. And body dysmorphia is an image that you have in your head of what you look like that might not be what you actually look like. It's a very difficult thing to explain, but today I'm joined with Ryan Terry, an IFBB pro bodybuilder, one of the most in shape, incredible looking men on planet Earth, and a man who has suffered with body dysmorphia himself. So this is one of those interesting conversations that I wanted to deliver to you that will help give you some perspective. Today's video was made possible at Mulliganbrothers.com, where if you use the link in the description, you can now get the new poster and frame, the Memento Mori poster, which is a reminder that you are mortal. Each square represents a week of your life, and that's what 21 years looks like. And for me, I use this as a constant reminder of how precious time is. The frame and poster are now available with the link in the description, and all the profits, as always, go back into creating this content. But before that, this is a video that is close to me and a really interesting video with Ryan Terry about body dysmorphia. Let's dive into it.
So I'm Ryan Terry, I'm an IFBB pro, men's physique division, and I've been in the industry for 20 years nearly now.
You mentioned body dysmorphia as well. People on the outside will look at you and go, how? Like, how is he gonna have body dysmorphia? Like, what, I mean, could you explain what body dysmorphia is and how it made you feel?
Academically, I wasn't great. I studied as hard as I could and I got grades that I needed or wanted, but for me, sports was always my passion. It's when I went into my teenage years, obviously you're getting out of an age of 13, 14, and I just started to become aware of what I looked like, and I was slightly overweight. I was very greedy as a kid. Even to this day, it sounds silly, but I've got a vest on to film you today, but I train in hoodies, I train covered up. I'm not someone who walks around with a top off or anything. I compete on stage with my top off and that's it. The rest of the time I'm covered up and stuff, because I don't do this sport really for anyone else other than for my confidence and for me to feel okay. And that's why I probably train the way I do. That's probably why I put myself through what I do, is to keep that at bay. But I'm in a good place with it. But at the time, obviously coming into it, there was, yeah, a lot of what I see in the mirror is different to what everybody else sees. And my way of dealing with that is training, eating well and feeling good on the inside and on the outside. And yeah, over the years I've had wobbles and stuff, people around me as well who I've affected with this. You know, like people who wanted to do what I do, I teach them the ways and they've gone down a different path than I have. But yeah, I've dealt with those issues early on, and yeah, I'm quite comfortable now with my family and stuff like that.
So specifically, like when you was younger and you'd look in the mirror, like what did you see, like versus what other people were looking at? I
just never wanted to. I was never someone who needed to look in the mirror. And I just, yeah, I don't know how to explain it. I always felt like I was overweight, and yeah, I don't really know how to explain it. I've never been entirely uncomfortable in the early days of how I look and feel, but meeting my wife was a huge turning point for me. I met her 8 years ago, and she made me so comfortable in who I am and the way I am and stuff. And yeah, that's I've never really looked back since then. And that's one thing I always want to instill to, and I don't know why to this day I felt like that. Obviously growing up I had a good loving family, so there was no reason for me to feel like that. Now, there was no trauma that happened for me to feel like that. It's just how I was built. And that's one thing me and Amy have always strived for in bringing Alfie up, is he never feels like that. So we're going to do everything we can for him to never ever feel like that.
So, I mean, when you're training, like, what is it like? Like, do you have to put your all into it? Is it difficult? Where do you go in your head?
Yeah, so for me, everyone always asks me, like, how do you stay motivated 24/7? And I'm only human, like, you can't be fully motivated 24/7, but I'll always turn up to my session and give it my everything on that day. And for me, what drives me is knowing I'm not number one in the field that I'm working at. So for me, until I'm Mr. Olympia, that drive and that passion every day, and if I'm struggling to do a set, or if I'm struggling just fatigued or tired and don't want to do my cardio, I take myself there. And I think, would the competitors who I'm up against be welching out on this set? Will they be moaning about this is hard, or if they're hungry and stuff? And these type of things in my head just flick the switch, and I'm like, no. And I'm the guy who has to work harder than everybody else, be in the trenches and graft, and that's how I've always been, and it's always pushed me through.
You know, like when you get to a set and your legs are aching and, like, you know, it's absolute agony, like what at that point is going through your head?
I've even done stuff where, like you say, when you feel like you've got no more reps in you and stuff, and then you take yourself to that dark place where not a lot of people talk about it, but a lot of, like, say greats, but a lot of people who train savagely or hard, they put themselves in them horrible places where they'll use their family, for instance. I don't know if you've ever heard of that, but like they're in trouble, or there's something, like they're under something what you need to move, and the only way you're going to move is if you do these next 2 reps, and if your son's in trouble. Little things like that just literally take it, and you just get this overwhelming power and strength to get those last 2 reps out. So it's certain things like that I start to do if I know I'm starting to welch out on a set. I put myself in a dark place where it pushes you through.
That's how I deadlift, Max. You know, it's the same thing. Someone stuck under a car is like the best way of doing it.
Because you don't want to sound weird. When I'm saying that, I think, yeah, it sound like right weird, but you do, don't you? You're thinking you need to get something off someone that you love. You need to get moving, push it off.
So, you know, like the high of training as well, like the endorphin rush and all that kind of stuff. Is that something you enjoy to achieve, like, and to chase?
Yeah, so I absolutely love training. It became more difficult in my later years with injuries and stuff, but it's part of my day-to-day. Like, I don't know what I would do without training. It's not like a necessity that I have to do it because of a certain way I look or the way I feel. I just really enjoy it. I look forward to my sessions. I like blocking the world out. I have multiple businesses now, so and I have a family to look after as well. So my mind's always 100 miles an hour. But when I go into the gym, that all stops. The phone is away. It's my time just to get into my own head, and I've just always seen it as a way of pressure releasing, just cutting the world off and yeah, having my own time.
Thank you so much to Ryan for this video. If Ryan can open up and talk about body dysmorphia and what it is like to have body dysmorphia as an IFBB Pro bodybuilder, then hopefully that has given you guys some perspective and some hope as well. I know it definitely did for me, so I can't thank Ryan enough for opening up. Today's video was made possible at Mulliganbrothers.com, where you can now get the Memento Mori poster, a poster that reminds you that you are mortal and that time is very precious. Every single box represents a week of your life, and that is what 21 years looks like. I wake up every single day and I look at my poster on my fridge, and I'm reminded constantly how precious my time is. I have so many things I want to achieve and so many people I want to help in this lifetime. And I know when I wake up and I see this that I haven't got all the time in the world, and I better use it wisely. The poster and frame are available with the link in the description. And as always, all the profits from the website go back into creating this content and getting our film crews to fly all around the world. And a massive thank you. Anyone who clicked that join button, we had a lot of people join in last month. So thank you so much to everybody who's joined. We have some exclusive content coming out. Thank you for your patience with that, guys. And also anyone who's followed us on Instagram, at Jordan Mulligan Brother for myself, and all my brothers and sisters' links are down below. And yeah, we just can't thank you guys enough for the support. We have some huge, huge things planned this year. And the fact that everybody's here wanting to see our products, wanting to see the new projects and stuff that we've got coming out is just mind-blowing. And I'm excited to deliver some of the new stuff to you. We never not deliver. You guys know that. So we've got some big stuff coming. I'm excited. I'll see you in the next one anyway. Peace.